Hey everybody, welcome to Live. It is 8:30 a.m. Eastern. We do this every Friday morning, 8:30. My name is Bill Caskey. I'm really glad you're with me today. We're broadcasting live streaming on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook. So if you're on one of those, I welcome you. What I've got in front of me here is the LinkedIn comments. So if you have a comment, tell us where you're calling in from. Let me know. I'm not really good at reading all those during the event, but I will be certain to check out what you've said afterwards, and I will comment and repost them. But I appreciate you joining me today. You know, one of the things that I've tried to do here on this live stream is pick topics that I have found are maybe a little bit beneath the surface. So you're not going to hear me talking about how to close more sales on here. You're probably not going to be hear me talk about how to ask better questions. All those things are important, but I'm trying to do things that are a little bit more consequential and a little bit beneath the surface at a higher dimension for you, because I respect not only your time, but also your expertise and prowess and proficiency already. And so I don't want to just talk about things that everybody else is talking about. And that's why today that I have picked this topic of where are you taking me? Or where the heck are you taking me? And this is a typical question I think that your prospects have and my prospects have. And when we're in the sales cycle and we're back and forth and we're conducting, sales calls and questions and answers and webinars maybe, the question always comes up, which is, if it doesn't come up, it comes up in their mind, is where is Bill taking me? Where, insert your name, where's Greg taking me? And if you can't answer that for them, they'll go somewhere else. And they'll find somebody who is taking them somewhere they want to go. You'll have to excuse, we got a contractor here working in the other room, and so you hear some kind of a chainsaw or something going on. But hopefully you can hear me okay. So that's what we're going to talk about today. And I had a situation here this past week where I have a client who's in one of my $1 million seller programs. It's a public program. And he said, Bill, I pitched this idea of what we call the roadmap, which to me is the vehicle that tells the client where you're taking them and how you're going to get them there. He says, I pitched this to our CEO. Our CEO said, I've never seen anything like this. This is exactly what we need to be doing. And so they've implemented inside their company. And this is not an inconsequential company. This company has thousands of employees. But one of their sales VPs pitched this idea. So I'm going to share with you the idea today. If you can take it into your company, great. If you want to talk to me more about it, that's fine too. Anytime you want to schedule a call with me or talk about your team or yourself, we have programs for both. You can find me at scheduleacallwithcaskey.com. But that's not why we're here. We're here to share with you what I call community service content, which is where I don't charge anything for it other than your time. You can decide to take it or leave it. You haven't paid anything for it other than your time, so you may just decide to leave it. Or you can say, man, if Caskey's got this for free, what does he have if I paid money? So in the last 30 years, I've coached lots of people. And I've rarely seen what I'm going to talk about today implemented correctly. Usually what happens is when you get down to the sales process where you need to tell the customer what you offer, what your offer is, what your offer structure and how they get paid and the whole thing. It's rarely a roadmap conversation. It's usually a listicle. It's a list of services. It's a list of deliverables. It's a price. Sometimes it has language around the destination that you found during the sales process. Like if a customer wants to grow their business from 40 million to 80 million, that should be in your proposal somewhere. Most of the time, that's not even there. I don't know why. I'm fascinated by that. So I want to speak to you here today in terms of what needs to be in the roadmap. Number one, the current reality needs to be in the roadmap. What are their current issues? What are their current frustrations, dilemmas, current problems, current pains? What's current for them right now, them meeting your prospect? You can monetize, you can denominate this and say, we're only bringing in 10 clients a month. Let's say you do what I do and you're in the business of helping clients grow revenue. You might find that they're only bringing in 10 clients a month and they need 15. Okay, current reality is we are short 5 clients a month. So whatever the current reality is, I want you to see that as point A. And we'll put up actually a document here that has an example of our roadmap that we call the 2X roadmap. So you'll see where the A is and where the B is. There we go. That's up. So that's number one. Number one is A. Number two is B. And that's where you're taking them. Now, B should be a compilation of where they think they want to go and where you know they could go. Because when you walk into an organization and you start asking questions like, what's your objective here? Where do you want this to end up? What's the ultimate result you want? They don't know how to answer you. What makes you think they would know how to answer a question? You live and die and breathe and live in that question every day. You hunger for the chance to ask that question, but they don't. They're doing their own thing. They're not in your business. So don't, this is an old lawyer rule. Don't ask a question that the jury doesn't know the answer to. Or I want you to ask the question that you know the answer to so that you can help them craft an answer. I want you to be a part of this point B up here. All right? So point A is where they are now. Point B is where they want to go with your help in crafting that, in shaping that. That's really vital. The next thing that I want you to do is I want you to start thinking of what is the path or the map that's going to get them from point A to point B. We'll put this up on the screen again. What's the roadmap look like? Do you have a roadmap? This is what this video is all about. I want you to create a roadmap. I want there to be 3 stages or 3 phases, and I want there to be 3 steps per phase or per stage. You see in ours. Stage 1 is the foundational, it's the fundamental stage. And if you look across, I've got 3 fundamental things that we teach organizations when we first work with them or people. And this goes for whoever our client is. Stage 2 is our interaction stage. That's where I know there's going to be interaction with a prospect, interaction with a client, interaction with an audience, interaction on video. There's always interaction in some way. That's that stage. And I talk about how do you master that stage. And then the final stage is that mastery. It's that expansion stage. It's when we really get the floodgates going, and now we put it on overdrive. We get on people's podcasts. We get referrals. We call on larger companies. We have strategic partners. We really start to open the gates so that we can master this thing and scale our business. That's how you get to a 2X result. If you want to get to a 2X result, master these 9 things. Now, there are items underneath each one of those 9 things, obviously, but that is the map that helps you get from where you are to where you want to be. And I want you to do a similar kind of thing for your prospects and customers. So the first step to do that is just to get a big old piece of paper and some Post-it notes and start posting. Start asking yourself the question, okay, what are the important elements of getting somebody from where they are to where they want to be? Now, sometimes the question comes up, well, isn't every client different? Maybe, but I don't think they're that different. I think the 80-20 rule takes effect, meaning 80% of your roadmaps are going to be the same. There might be some 20% tweaking of it. Totally understand that. But it doesn't matter. If you have a roadmap, you can easily tweak it. This is not something you have to create a whole new roadmap for everybody. It's just a tweaking process. So develop your 3 phases or 3 stages and develop your 3 steps per stage, and you've got your roadmap. Put it in this format. You can go from top to bottom. You can go from bottom to top. I like bottom to top because it allows me to put point A down there in the lower left, and point B is the ultimate reach point. So that's how I do it. You don't have to do it that way, but that's how I would recommend. So what does it do? What does this do for you? Number one, it gives them trust that you have a plan. You're not verbal. You're not just making promises. You're not making claims. You're not making vapid statements. You're saying, if you want to get from where you are to where you want to be, here's the way to do it. So there's a great deal of trust that comes along with it. Number two, it really creates a uniqueness in your offer. Most people don't have this. They may someday, but strike while the iron's hot. Understand where you can take them and understand the map that's going to help them get there. So number two is, I think it helps your uniqueness. It demonstrates that you've solved the problem before. Even if you haven't, and even if it's the first time you share your roadmap, chances are you've solved these problems before. This is just a way to capture the essence of the solution process so that you can share it with somebody and they can understand it. Shows them that you know the journey, obviously. I would suggest you have a place in there for preemptive problem solving. So there might be some areas of your roadmap that cause the prospect to be resistant. You should know what those areas are so that as you go through those, you can preempt that objection. So let's say one of your areas is having a weekly meeting with their team to make sure the implementation is going well. Well, one of their resistance points says we can't spare an hour a week or half hour a week with everybody in a meeting, which is all BS. But okay, let's say you get that a lot. You need to preempt that right there. So you would say, look, step two, phase two is we have a weekly meeting where we review progress. Here's what I typically hear from people. That's too long, or I can't do that every week. So to that we say, let's start it for 4 weeks. Let's see if you can handle it. And then going forward after 4 weeks, we can maybe drop that back to 3 a month or 2 a month. So you're giving them some relief from the objection. That's better than not addressing it all until the 11th hour when you've sent the proposal in and they come back to point two, stage two, and say, we can't do 2 meetings a month or 1 meeting a week. It's too late then. You can't do anything about it. So you have to decide where you want to focus on the possible objections or the possible resistance. Cool? All right. This also transforms your process from you convincing them to them following you. It's much better if you say, look, I can get you here. Here's the journey. Here's how it works. And do you want to follow me or not? Now, I'm not saying to say those exact words. That might be a little harsh, but that's really the essence of the message is, this is where we're going. This is how I'm going to get you there. You in or out? If they're out, guess what they just gave up? They gave up a smidge of certainty because they know that if you've gone to the time to put the map in front of them, you know what they're doing. And if they go to a cheaper, lesser competitor who doesn't have a map, who has no idea, it will always be less than your solution. So I think it really changes the entire trust factor with your prospect. Personalization, we talked about that a little bit. I think you have to adjust the complexity. I would be very careful about how long I spent when I was proclaiming the roadmap and kind of walking them through it. I wouldn't make this a 1 hour thing. I think it's a 5 to 10 minute thing. I think it comes later in the process, but not too late. So let's say your sales cycle is 5 calls, 5 meetings, 5 steps. I would say in step 3 or 4, you would start introducing the roadmap. I wouldn't wait till step 5, and I wouldn't do it in step 1. But at some point where it's natural and where it's organic, you might start that conversation by saying, look, I know we're not all the way through this yet, and we've got some other work, and we've got a couple more calls scheduled, but in the event we work together, let me share with you what it looks like and how it works and how I believe we can help you get from point A to point B. So the idea there is to preemptively talk about that. Now, you don't have to talk about it right then, but I would. Again, this is part of what I've been talking about here for the last 6 months, and that is that I need you to become a better explainer and not as good of a persuader. I mean, I'm okay with persuasion. I think there's value there, but the ultimate persuasion is when the person, the prospect, shares with you the problem they have. You share with them the roadmap that's going to get them to that solution or to that ideal state, that point B, and then they decide whether they want to follow you or not. Now you got to talk pricing and all that, but that's we can do that in another live. So does that make sense? Let me see if I have any other notes here that. So when to present it, I said walk through step by step. If you have to do this on a Zoom call, that's fine. The idea is to spend a little money, have it designed properly. You can take a picture of the screenshot that I gave you. Travis, can we put that up again? Thanks. Put that up again, and you can take a screenshot of that and say, here, designer, I want something like that. You've got to give them, obviously, all the things. Don't copy mine, please. You can spend $100 of your own money and go to Upwork or Fiverr and have somebody create it for you. All right? So tell me how this helps, or tell me if it helps in the comments. Tell me if this resonated with you. I find that 50% of the people say, oh my gosh, this is awesome. 50% say, yeah, good try, nothing there. But before you say nothing there, ask yourself, does my customer really know where the heck I'm taking them? Do they know what destination I'm aiming for? And if it's the same one that they're aiming for, now we're lined up on the same side of the desk and we're pointing toward a direction that's going to be invaluable for you. I want you to get out of this sales thing as usual. We've got to get out of that. We just must. AI is going to take over a lot of what we do in the sales process and the marketing, but AI can't take over the explanation of a roadmap. So until it can, you've got a couple weeks lead time here. All right, once again, if there's anything that I said that is interesting to you and you want me to help you grow your business, I can do that. At least I can talk about helping you do it. Go to scheduleacallwithcaskey.com. We'll put that here on the screen. And I'm really glad you stayed with me today. Hopefully this has been helpful for you. And leave a comment, leave a like, leave a share, whatever you want to leave. Just leave. No, don't leave. Whatever you want to do, that's fine. I'll go into the comments and react to some of those as well. See ya. Bye.